something new.
Different.
Yeah, different. Yeah.
All in today. Vinny?
Yeah. And I just wanted to ask, well, a lot of transfer speculation at the moment. Mo linked with Al Hilal, yourself linked with Kvaratskhelia, Chiesa linked with Napoli, Harvey linked with Brighton and Dortmund. What substance is there to any of that?
When you said yourself linked with, I was like, which club is going to say now? But you mean as a club, we are linked with Kvaratskhelia. What I make of that is that it's January, and I think I said it after the West Ham game, that don't disappoint me. Please come up with all these clubs and all these players that are in the interest from us, or the ones that don't play a lot for us going to go somewhere else. Yeah, that's what's happening now. And 9 out of 10 times, 99 out of 100 times in the end of the window, it's been clear that almost all of these stories weren't true. So what can I comment about it? That the rumors keep going for it, but no comments from my side.
What you can tell us about though is the players that you have available to you. So Szoboszlai, Quansah, how are they? And what opportunity is it to give minutes to the likes of Harvey, Federico, and Conor Bradley?
Every game is an opportunity for them to have a chance to play, and this one as well. Dom trained with the under 21s yesterday. Jurel, like I said, he was a bit ill last week. I think there was, as a result of that, I had to take him off during the game, but I'm expecting him to be available for tomorrow. Yes, we know we can use these players in every single game, and also in the one we have on Saturday.
What do you know about the relationship between Liverpool and Accrington?
Not that much, of course, because I'm only here for half a year. But I do know about the milk advert. Probably everybody knows this. Immediately after the game, there was a clip or a video about a player that was so happy that he was going to play at Anfield. So these kind of things I know. I know people from this area also play for that club. That's quite a lot actually that I already know. And of course I know a lot about the team, which today I'm going to even know more about because we're going to dive into it even more today. But yeah, that's all I can say about it.
Arne, the standards have been so high for Liverpool this season, incredibly high. So when they slip, even very, very slightly, it's kind of sort of very noticeable. And we know Manchester United played really well against you, and Tottenham too. But any reasons in-house for maybe the lack of rhythm and the passing hasn't been as crisp and sharp, perhaps?
I don't see that many differences compared to to many other games we've played. The only difference is that we've played these two games after winning 6-3 from Tottenham and winning 5-0 from West Ham. So after those two games, everybody said, we know they were good, but that they were that good, we probably didn't know even that yet. So if you compare it to those standards, I do agree that the games against United and against the last game against Tottenham were of lower standards compared to those two. If you look back at all the other games, so even Leicester City away, we were 2-1 up with 10 minutes to play. So we the whole season, I said this many times, we won a lot of games, and almost every game we won. Maybe the only exception could be Chelsea, but all the other ones we've deserved to win, but never by a big margin. It was always very tight. And if people ask me what can we improve, that is increasing that margin, because otherwise you always depend on a bit of luck or a bit of being unlucky as well, or a certain decision that can be made. The referee decision, of course. And we must make sure that we don't depend on those moments anymore. And that's the next step we have to make if we don't want to depend on luck or bad luck, because Crystal Palace away, they got a big chance 10 minutes before the end, didn't score, we beat them with 1-0. And I know in football it's everywhere the same around the world. You're only judged by the results, and because of the results, people judge you on the performance. And it's not many times that if a team has a draw or a loss that people say they played really, really, really well. Tottenham, it's a long answer this. The Tottenham game, if the referee would have given the red card, we would have kept a clean sheet over there. Maybe be able to score against 10 men. Everybody would have said, again, a difficult away game with a clean sheet. They totally controlled and dominated the game. Again, a good performance of Liverpool. And now, because we conceded the goal, it's all about us being a bit more sloppy and all these kind of things. That's what this industry is about, and it's up to me to see, is there really so much difference between us playing Leicester City, playing Ipswich away, playing Crystal Palace away? And I think we are still the same team, also in terms of performance.
So this game represents an opportunity for lots of players who've been on the fringe of things and haven't been able to play as many games as they would have liked, certainly. And if you look at Harvey Elliott in particular, he's had problems with injuries, which have undermined his opportunities to progress. But he's such a talented player that when you get to that stage, he can only learn so much in training, can't he? So he does need games, and otherwise he kind of like hits a brick wall.
I agree with you. He's a talented player. He's been this for us for so long. In recent weeks, he comes in quite a lot and gets his minutes over there. But like it is for him, like it is for all the others, they are in competition with many other good players as well. And he was very unlucky that I think it was after 2 games he got injured, was out for a long time. And what I've seen till now, with almost all of our players that have been out for quite a while, that it's in this league, in this tempo, in this intensity, in the quality we have, but the other teams have as well, it is not so easy to come back and be at your best immediately. I see this not only with Harvey, I see this with, like I said, with almost all the other players that have been out for 5, 6, 7 or 8 weeks. And that is the balance we have to find, by giving them playing time to get back to the best level, but still be able to win every game. Because like I just said, our margins are constantly small. Is that the right word? Yeah, small. And if you're 5-0 up, you can give players that have been out for quite a long time half an hour or a half or even longer. But that is not the way we won our games till now. And that's also the reason why, if we have 1 or 2 times we are a bit unlucky, that we can draw a game or lose a game.
Hi Arne. The stats show teams attack more down Liverpool's right. Is that an area you need to look at to give Trent more protection?
It might be true if you tell me. Mostly he's about the stats, but is that by a margin? Is we are talking here about right side 70%, left side 30%, or is it?
The stats show on the Liverpool's right is 44.
And left?
Left
42. Okay, so that is more, but it's not by a mile. So could also mean that we attack a lot on our right side, that they pick up the ball and then play their counter attack over that side. So if it's only 12%, I don't see anything in this. What we do have to see is how we concede our chances, how we concede our goals. And that's not only about our right side, because if they attack on our right side, they still have to go to the middle to find the goal. And if they go to the middle, it's the players who play in the middle and the players from the left side that have to come inside, have to defend that as well. So I do see a certain pattern in the goal we concede, but I don't see the pattern if it's about Trent, if that's what you mean. Not at all. Trent has had 1 difficult game for us. And maybe a few that were okay to good, and mainly he had great games when he played for us this season. So I know there's a lot of focus on him at the moment, but I would also like to highlight the focus on how well he did when he came in the last half hour, and how our fans reacted on him. That is what pleased me even more during that game.
Carl?
What are the different challenges of facing a team from the lower divisions who come to Anfield, so they haven't such a big experience?
What are the challenges? Yeah. I think every team that plays against us, it's a special occasion for every team we face, but especially for a lower league team. So they will be all up for it. They've lived towards this game for many weeks, probably 9 out of 10 times. All players are fit. Then there's no one suspended. So and the challenge is always to bring the best out of ourselves. So I think everybody could understand that if you go to a Champions League final, everyone is completely hyped up and ready, and that is for them today. Tomorrow it's going to feel as if it's the Champions League final. So we have to be aware of that. And 9 out of 10 times, then the first 25 minutes, half hour is the most difficult part of the game, because they will still be very intense. And it's up to us to be ready for them wanting to play the best game of their lives. And that is what we have to do as well.
What's your experience of playing teams who are at a much lower level than you, either as a player or as a manager? Did you suffer any shocks or upset?
I mostly played at a team that were not as good as the one we faced. That's not completely true, but large parts of my career it was true. My experience as a manager, I don't know. When I was at Feyenoord, I always said that I was unlucky in the draw. Is the draw the words we mean? And what I mean with that is that almost every time we had a draw, we had the most difficult one that we could get in that draw, and that means you play the same team that plays in the same league, where other teams maybe sometimes had we call this an amateur club. That means that there are no professionals. That's in Holland. That can be sometimes the situation. So I don't remember playing against a very low league club in my managerial career in Holland, to be fair. But I was only a manager there for 3 or 4 years, so that's something to do with it as well.
Hi, Arne. I am kind of interested in the patterns you notice in us conceding, but I dare say you're probably not going to tell me about that here. So my question's more about rest and rhythm. The players got some time off between the Manchester United and the West Ham game after, I think it was 6 games in 19 days or something like that. Now, I've heard you talk before about how used to playing every 3 days this team are, and maybe that suits them a little better. So I wondered, how complicated have you found it, getting that balance between the rest and the rhythm when in your first season here in England with the extended Champions League and with 2 domestic cup competitions?
It's not difficult because I think if you are in a league like this and you play so many games, that it's one of the most important thing you can do is give players some rest once in a while when it's possible. Then you always wonder for yourself if they've been indeed a few days off, which has happened many more times this season, where afterwards we did have the result. You always wonder, you always try to look back and reflect on, okay, what have we done? Could we've done better? But in both games we had a lot of intensity. It was necessary because both games was intense, especially against Tottenham. If you look at the output, physical output, it was one of our best games this season. That's not to say if we played the best with the ball, but physical output. So that tells you then maybe that for them being rested, that at least they are completely ready to compete. So you cannot see what some people try to say now, that we might be tired or those kind of things. No, not at all. We are even having a step up. But what probably was not seen a lot is that compared to the game 2 weeks ago, we've changed 5 positions. And a few of them didn't have a lot of playing time in the last 6 or 7 weeks. And that's what I just also said. If a player is out for 6 or 7 weeks in this league and has to train for himself and then comes back in this intensity, it's sometimes you have to find your rhythm in the first 10, 15 or 20 minutes. And I think that's exactly what you saw against Tottenham. That's why that's probably stayed in the head for many people a long time. But if I look the game back and I look at the last 70 minutes, I see that we were able, just as many times as 2 weeks ago, arriving in and around the final third of Tottenham just as many times 2 weeks ago. Now, there was a difference in the final third. We were not creating as much chances from getting into those positions as we did 2 weeks ago. But that is a normal situation in the season. That's the most difficult part of the pitch, the final third. and sometimes these attackers create chance after chance, and sometimes it's a bit harder. So I don't see anything into this.
Chris?
Just on rhythm and Chiesa, it's obviously been a tough start for him here with fitness and keeping. What do you want to see from him in the second half of this season? And is tomorrow maybe a chance for him to start to get some of that rhythm and match fitness?
Like I said, every game is a chance for every player to get some playing time. It's not only for him being difficult because all of the things you just said, I'm not going to say all these things again in terms of match fitness. It's also that he has to compete with the likes of Cody Gakpo, Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota, Darwin Núñez and Mo Salah. And everybody here knows the numbers Mo Salah brings in. There's not many times a reason to take him out during a game or before a game, also because he's so fit. I said many times before, he was the fittest player that came in pre-season, and he does everything every single day to keep this match fitness, and he wants to play every game, and he shows up every single game. So it's not only about Federico when we are talking about him being limited in his playing time, it's also about the others. But in terms of Federico, it definitely has to do with the way he came in, I don't know the English word. So the rest were already training a lot, and we had to bring him up in terms of match fitness. So it's a combination of reasons why he didn't play that much yet. But let's wait and see in the upcoming weeks and months if he's able to help us, because the second half of the season is even more important than the first half.
Dom?
Just wanted to ask about Rio and Guma and Shane Ione, whether this might be an opportunity. I know they've been training with you of late. Is this going to be a chance for them to get some minutes, or will they be around the squad tomorrow?
Like I said, I didn't say it yet, but we still have to train. Yesterday we couldn't because our flight going back to London arrived quite late here, so we gave them as a result of that a day off. So we have to wait and see how everybody is recovered today, and then we have to make a decision which players we're going to bring to the game. But Trey has been in the squad many times already. Rio only once, Southampton away, I think. But these players are doing really well when they train with us, doing really well when they play with the under-21s. So as long as they keep doing that, their chances of getting their moment in the first team will increase, of course.
Any more? No? All more?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.